All right, we're back.
Some little messages from the Municipalidad de Arica, as well as Science Bodyboards.
And so I'm just going to fill you in here that the closure of that last heat, Yuri Valladar and Guilherme Tamega. All right, hang on, straight into the action.
Up and riding, look at that. That's a nice clean barrel on the right. That's cleaner than most of the barrels on the rights.
Oh,
come on.
Push through another section. He's
Look
just being
at
greedy.
that.
He's just being greedy out here.
Look at that, getting 2 good barrels. And we haven't seen, the rights haven't been as crisp and smooth on the rights, as glassy on the rights like we've seen on the lefts, but that one was.
That one was insane. He
Look how
scoots
glassy the way it
straight
is.
into the barrel, kind of just rides under the curtain there for a little bit, comes out with some serious speed. He can see this next section coming up, and he punches through it. Kind of a foamy pit, but he does manage to show good control.
He shows that speed, and he trims up high, where the lip's not going to crush him too much. It pushes through that white water. I mean, I'm impressed. That way really shows the wave knowledge that Ryan Hardy possesses, correct?
I mean, if anyone's got it, it's Ryan. He's one of the most seasoned competitors here, and especially here in Arica. He was one of the first guys to ever come here, especially compete in an event.
Well, he won the very first event.
Exactly. That was 10 years ago. And it wasn't even a world tour event or anything like that. It was just a local event. The local boys invited him and asked him to come down. You can see Guilherme Tamega just claiming his quarterfinal victory. He's in the semi-finals against Dave Winchester in semi-final number 1. So that heat is ready to roll.
And how many times have they competed against each other here? Several times. Both those guys have done amazing here at this event. And once again, we're going to have another showdown with Dave Winchester and Guilherme Tamega.
And just to keep you guys in the loop, last year, Dave Winchester and Guilherme Tamega were in the final together. And Winchester just taking the win from underneath GT in the dying seconds, literally.
Yeah.
And, that is just how it works out here in this sport of bodyboarding. Anything can happen. And the guys are, these are the best of the best right now. We're down to the final 8 competitors here this morning with the quarterfinals. And we've already established who's going to be in the first semi-final, and the outcome of this heat will give us the next semi-finalist, and then obviously the final quarterfinal of the day. The winner of that will go through to the semi-final.
So a score coming through for that first wave of Ryan Hardy's, a solid one, a 7. That's a good opening score to get, in the first 30 seconds of the heat. And just so you know, like you said, Tamega beat Winnie in 2011, and Winnie came back to beat Tamega in 2012. So it's been back and forth, and now we see Ben Player on the size of this bright. Check it out.
This thing is massive. He comes on a vertical roll, and he's got more to offer here. He spins in the pocket, showing a bit of control. He's waiting for a section here, and I don't know what's going to offer. He's definitely not willing to give up just yet.
Oh, getting steep again a little bit.
And he wants another section.
Adds a little half point right there with that possibly, and pulls out his Ben Player. So answering back with a good wave there is Ben Player. I don't think it's going to quite be as high of a score as that barrel, but we never know. He had a good solid roll there on a very steep section.
It was a big wave too. I mean, that was the biggest wave that's come through this heat. And here's a replay. You can see him taking off, and he trims around this section, doing insane drive off the bottom, and goes literally vertical up for a roll through the roof, and shows amazing control. Spin just to set up, kind of.
Set up for something that kind of never came.
And right at the end here, he just sets up for another roller.
So waiting for that score to come through for Ben Player that you see right there on your screen.
He's looking pretty good in the rankings here, has a little cheeky smile. He's a very, very skilled competitor, and he's been around a while. A couple world titles under his belt. He knows what it takes to win out here. And Ben Player actually won the first event in this year's tour.
Yeah, for sure.
He won the GoPro IBA Pipeline Challenge.
That's right.
And, in pumping surf.
So as we wait for that first score from Ben Player, who we're talking about, let's throw it down to Yo-Yo, who is with GT.
And here is the winner of the last heat, the second heat of the quarterfinal, Guilherme Tamega, 6-time world champion. Guilherme?
Yeah, great waves, but tough heat. Every heat now is like a final. Uri, I knew is gonna come very strong, and I just want to get the waves, but there's plenty waves out there. This place is so sick. You just gotta be patient and relax, and the wave's gonna come.
There's one more heat and you'll have a final. Who would you like to be with in the final?
It doesn't matter. You know, but for me, every heat is a final already out here. And now I'm gonna go against Winnie. You know, it's a final right there, and just semi-final still. But yeah, every heat is a final. It's a great show. This wave is sick. Great riding. Everybody's ripping. I'm stoked. I'll say kisses to my family, my kids. My family's in Brazil. My wife. Love you all.
Okay, Guilherme, thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, so parabéns, as you would say in Portuguese, to Guilherme Tamega. That means congratulations. Parabéns to GT for beating his countryman and fellow former world champion Uri Valadao. And Sasha, we just got a scoring for Ben Player. Not quite as good as Ryan Hardy scored like we thought. He got a 5.65. It is a decent opening wave. So on the board, each rider from Australia with a 7 for Ryan Hardy and a 5.65 for Ben Player.
I mean, it's not a bad way to open your account if you look at what the past few heats have shown. Ben Player with a 5.65 is usually been a keeper of a score, you know, especially out here today. This is only the third heat of the day, and there's plenty more action to come, guys. Semi-finals will be coming up after the quarterfinals, and then of course the final, which will decide who will be crowned the Arica Chilean Challenge champion.
It's kind of the Chilean Challenge champion.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on here. It's actually the GoPro IBA Chilean Challenge. I can't even do it anymore. A tongue twister.
Well, hey, cheers to the Chilean Challenge champion.
Yeah, there we go. All right. And a bit of a lull in the action here. Those are some seriously big sets at the beginning of the heat. And the guys now are just positioning themselves for what is coming on the horizon.
Yeah, well,
both splitting towards the left and the right.
I got a feeling there's some sets coming in right now.
Definitely. I can see the guys paddling quite frantically for the horizon. And let's see what happens in these next 30 seconds to 2 minutes as the South Pacific unleashes here on the shallow El Gringo Reef.
Yeah, for sure.
And a bit of a false alarm maybe for Ryan Hardy, who's paddled across, trying to get off the peak a little. He thought there was going to be another big one behind. And it looked like just a one-wave set that came through there. And these little ones just sneaking past the guys on the inside. And a little bit more positioning going on here. I can see Ryan and Ben just kind of having a look. And
Ben Player paddling, nope.
he's
Remember,
not interested in that.
there is 21 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in this third quarterfinal of the day. We had an all-Brazilian quarterfinal, now an all-Australian quarterfinal. And the next heat will be a combination of that. We'll have an Australian versus a Brazilian. So good rivalries going on here at the IBA World Tour.
Absolutely. A very strong Brazilian contingent at this event. I think the numbers for the trialists was something like 52 or something like that.
Wow.
And that's 52 Brazilian trialists alone. You know, that's half the field of trialists that have arrived here for this event. And it's awesome to see. I guess Brazil's economy is doing well. Bodyboarding is strong. The guys are hungry, and they've definitely put on a strong performance, considering that out of the 8 riders that are in these quarterfinals, 3 of them are Brazilians.
Well, Brazil's economy is doing well. Brazil actually does have the 5th largest economy in the world. They're really becoming an economic superpower.
Wow. Okay, well, there you go. I didn't know that. Thank you. And in this heat, for those of you who don't know, Ryan Hardy and Ben Player, the scores are on the screen for you to see right now. And the timer is there. Everything you need. Priority. You got everything you need right there on the screen. In red, Ryan Hardy is sitting in first priority. He can pick any wave he likes, and Ben Player is not allowed to go. So that's an awesome feeling to have, especially if you already have a 7 under your belt, which is where he is right now. And that doesn't mean that Ben can't catch any waves. He's just going to have to stay out of the way of Ryan and make sure that anything that Ryan looks at, he gives right of way to the number 1 priority man in red.
You know, we see once again that seal you talked about right there on the inside.
I don't like
checking
him.
out the riders.
I don't like that seal. He gets too close to me, and he's bigger than you think, man.
Dallas said he likes it. He said he makes him feel better when the seal's out because he said the seal looked at him like, what? No big deal. We're fine out here. Dallas said after he got beat down in a wave, he saw the seal and said it calmed him down.
Yeah.
The seal was like, what? It's just water. We're having a good time.
He wasn't there for me when I was getting a beat down. That's what I'm saying. So you see Ben Player just positioning here, either positioning or getting out of the way of the seal. You see in the background.
It's always nice to surf with shark bait.
Yeah, well, at least you know there's something else out there that the shark might want to bite.
Okay, so Ben Player having a look, electing not to go. I'm a little surprised. That wave might have offered something on the inside.
Are just trying to keep busy here, looking at any possible options that could offer up a scoring potential. And Ben definitely looking more comfortable towards the left. and I think it does suit his riding a little more. That very intense bowl, and his skills on the left are incredible. You know, his reverse airs out of the bowl, backflips like it's no man's business. So, you know, he's capable of doing absolutely anything out here, and very comfortable in this big surf. He looks
100%.
very at home. And
man, just these lulls, they get long sometimes. You know, now and then these guys get unlucky and they don't get very many waves in a heat, and this is what happens. They sit and wait.
I mean, there was a flurry of sets in the first, say, 5 to 10 minutes of this heat, and it's just kind of slowed down a little bit in these last 2-3 minutes after that last set. Nothing really substantial has come through. You can see Hardy just very relaxed, elbow up, waiting for something he likes. And I want to say that this is probably one of the most consistent waves in the world.
Yeah, we've talked about it many times on the broadcast that, I mean, pretty much anywhere there's a swell in the entire Pacific Ocean, it will eventually get to Arica. And we've already gone over it many times, and this is the most consistent spot on the planet, possibly.
I definitely
That's
think
why
so.
we're here.
I get to travel a fair bit. I've been locked in this addiction of travel for the last 10 years, just about. And everywhere I've gone, you know, you get a little flat spell for 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. And I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this place smaller than 6 feet. You know, there's always at least a 6-foot set that comes through in just about every surf I've had out here. And that's just to say that probably the smallest I've seen it. So definitely no shortage of swell and size and power out here.
Yeah, 100%.
These boys are being very patient out here. They're waiting for that big one, something serious.
They might not be patient. They might be upset. We don't know.
I know that these guys have got nerves of steel. They've been competing long enough. They know what's going on. Ben needs such a small score. You know, he's only sitting on a single ride. He's definitely going to be looking for a second ride. And Hardy as well, only one wave under his belt. So, you know, the heat is wide open.
You guys, make sure you engage with us on the IBA World Tour Facebook page. If you're not already doing it, you need to be subscribed to our YouTube page, as well as checking out our Instagram, our Twitter, and IBAWorldTour.com. It is important for you guys to follow us and be checking up on that. It helps out the sport and helps out the IBA.
And there's amazing content on there, especially on the YouTube channel. Those guys have been putting so much hard work into making those clips as amazing as they are. And, you know, the riders have been putting the work in too, wearing those GoPros and giving you those amazing POV views from inside El Gringo in Arica here. And you can see on your screen there in yellow, Brazilian powerhouse Eda Luciano getting ready. This guy knows what needs to be done out there. He's a very focused and very successful competitor, especially in the last few years. He's really upped his game. He won the qualifying series last year to re-qualify for this year's tour. As we see Ben Player stroking into a left-hander.
That's right. He's in second place. This is his second wave. Look at this barrel. Kind of almost backdoor the section. Rolls out of it. Nice, Sasha.
So I think this is going to be a very strong score for Ben Player. He's going to have a very stranglehold almost with regards to getting back out there and getting back into position and maybe even getting another one. Remember, he got this wave without priority. So he knows what needs to be done. He knows how to do it. And here's a replay of it. He kind of comes from behind the peak, scoops under the lip, and milks the barrel for all it's worth, and then comes out with a clean roll. And I think the judges are really going to like that. That's exactly what they want to see. Good control and good riding through the barrel.
The only thing I think it's going to hurt him is it wasn't a set wave. And we've already seen today how guys riding on smaller waves get scored, even if they ride it well.
Absolutely. But you got to remember, he did not have priority. He wasn't really in a position to start picking too much. He just needed another score.
Yep.
And he just wanted to improve on that 5.65, which it looks like he did.
6.7 coming in for Ben Player, putting him in the lead for now. He has a total score of 12.35. Ben, Ryan Hardy is a 7 and only one wave. So Ryan Hardy now is priority. Ben Player is second priority. But it's a good spot with 15 minutes to go halfway through this heat. Ben Player is a 5.6 and a 6.7. Now he can sort of be patient and look for those bombs that are going to offer the big 7, 8s, and 9 scores.
I think that was an amazing move there from Ben Player. Very strategic, and it definitely did pay off. A 6.7 is only 0.3 points away from that 7-point ride that Hardy has. So in theory, they're sitting in a very similar situation when it comes to two waves that are going to be scoring at the end. Ryan Hardy stroking into a right-hander.
Dropping in on a big ride, his second wave of the heat. He's got a lot of speed, Sasha.
Looking at some serious airtime here if he hits this. And it just kind of crumbles, and he had to roll through the roof.
Although it was a good roll.
It was a good roll. I was expecting a big, close-out ramp maybe with a big invert or something like that. Nonetheless, he did make the most of that wave and apply himself to his full ability.
Let's take a look at the replay, Sasha. Once again, he had a good score on the right earlier in the heat. He looking for the same thing. It didn't barrel, but he got a nice roll, right?
He did get a nice roll. That face looks very smooth from here, but when you see Ryan trimming down the line, he's one of the most stylish and in-control riders out there, and he was negotiating with some serious bump, and that kind of kept him on his toes and kind of maybe put him off for that section. He maybe would have had a better approach towards that. I see some scores have dropped. What are we looking at here?
Ryan Hardy now with a 5.83 for that second right-hand wave he got with that roll. So he has a total score of 12.83 and less than half a point above Ben Player, who we see here on his third wave, driving in the barrel, Sasha.
Scooping into it, and it looks like this one has just run away from him. He looked like he had good control, good drive, and the wave just kind of crumbled and petered out off the end and didn't really hit the reef nicely and leave an open barrel exit for Ben Player.
Big peak coming through right there. I mean,
he's going to be racing back into the lineup to try and beat Ryan Hardy and regain priority. And this is the replay. He has good bottom turn, good drive through this barrel.
Perfect posture in the barrel, right?
Absolutely, and it just kind of ran away from him and pinched and crumbled a little, which is quite uncharacteristic for the left at El Gringo. It's usually quite a big open barrel and allows for an easy exit. So
we see
Ben Player, that last wave definitely didn't go into his top two.
No.
He's going to have to get back out there and start again pretty much to improve his second scoring ride. And on your screen,
there's Mike right there, the man, the myth, the legend.
Mike Stewart, shuckers all around.
He's a man, like in every way.
Always positive and a wealth of knowledge to share with us here. And it's awesome to have him part of this tour and still contributing in such a huge way to the sport, And this heat really becoming a bit of a nail-biter here with just under 12 minutes remaining.
And with this contest going on for 10 years, it has so much history. I mean, we talk about Ryan Hardy has won the first time they had this event. Ben Player won this event as well in 2007. So a lot of experience going down here. And Ben Player, that score coming through for him, he got a 3 on that last wave. It's not going to count. So the situation not changing. 11 and a half minutes to go. Ryan Hardy in the lead with a 12.83 score. Ben Player with a 12.35. He needs a 6.14. Not a very big score that he needs to take over the lead from Ryan Hardy and send him packing.
Absolutely. He needs pretty much an average of the two scores that he has right now, which is a 5.65 and a 6.7. And a 6.14 is achievable on just about anything out here. He doesn't need a big wave. He just needs something that's going to run along the reef nicely, maybe get a little barrel and do one of his characteristic backflips or reverse airs out of the bowl, and he'll quite easily get that score. So I'm sure he knows what he needs to do. He is a very seasoned competitor, and he will be applying himself in the next 10 minutes.
Right now, while we're waiting for a set to come through and for the situation to change, we're going to show you a highlight from day 3. Well, wait a second. We might have a wave here. We might have a wave. I think Ryan Hardy and Ben Player, one of the two is going to get this wave possibly.
They both look like they're moving into position here. Ryan doesn't like the look of it. Ben doesn't like the look of it either. He can see it might have too much shoulder on it. And they're
That's
off
definitely
the
a
back of it.
set wave, though. Big barrel on the left and the right. Great peaks here in Arica, and we'll see if someone's going to take off one of these waves.
And it looks like Ben Player likes the look of this thing. I don't know if he's going to go.
Nope.
He doesn't like it. Last-minute decision.
Okay, so while we have a chance, we're going to show you a highlight of day 3 of the GSS event here, the third stop in the GoPro IBA World Tour. Check out some highlights.
Wow.
All right, we are back. Check out that insane highlight. I mean, we got some of the best content, video content in the world from any sport. And we have to thank GoPro, our title our title sponsor, GoPro, here, taking care of the IBA World Tour. And we have a replay. We have a wave here. Ryan Hardy going left. Check it out, Sasha.
This is what happened during that last highlight clip. Ryan Hardy just coming off the bottom, set up turn, and he's looking for the barrel. He drives through this little section here. He's not very deep, but he's got good control. And he looked like he tried to push through the section. He does come out, but he's some serious negotiations there with the foam, and opts to just kick out a couple of meters before the rocks.
So he already has a 7 and a 5.83. I don't know if he'll improve upon a 5.83, possibly, but pretty good size wave right here. Check it out.
This is the view, very similar view to what the judges have. So this is what they're seeing. And that barrel, not very deep, like I said, but he does manage to come through it somehow and fight his way through the suds of that wave. And I personally don't think it's going to improve his score, but maybe because it was a bigger wave, the judges might deem it more.
Oh, there it was right there. A 5.2 is all he got. A
There we go.
5.2, so they didn't really reward it. I mean, they like to see the set waves, and they've made it apparent, and they've been consistent with that.
They have, definitely. I mean, that is still a pretty healthy score for considering what went down in that wave. And, you know, Ben Player now in pole position when it comes to priority. He's definitely not going to be making any mistakes at this point. He knows what it takes. He's going to be waiting for a really good one and trying to seal the deal here against fellow countryman Ryan Hardy.
So we are looking for a winner in this heat to take on the winner of Dallas Singer and Eder Luciano. We already have one Australian in the semifinals as well as one Brazilian. We could possibly have two Australians in the second semifinal and an all-Australian final. You never know. I'm sure the Aussie fans have their fingers crossed for that.
I'm sure they do. Very patriotic bunch. Never to be forgotten here are the Brazilians, let me tell you. They're going to be cheering on old GT and Eder Luciano
for sure
to be an all-Brazilian final, which is also a very strong possibility out here. And, you know, Ryan Hardy, Ben Player, these guys out here are, I want to say, powerhouses when it comes to the Arica Chilean Challenge. These guys you do not want in a heat. And now you've got both of them together. This is pretty much as good as it gets as a spectator.
I'll tell you what, the guy who was the most intimidating, I think, for everybody was Alan Munoz, the Chilean, who has so much local knowledge here. I mean, man, he shut down Hardy and Mike Stewart in the third round, and he was really looking good. He just didn't quite get the waves yesterday in round 4, but he was a threat. And I'll tell you what, I guarantee people were nervous when they were seeing that guy in their heat draw.
Absolutely. You know, I've seen him compete here for a few years now, and he's only just stepped up his game every single time he's entered the water. So he's definitely someone to be reckoned with.
Ryan Hardy on the right, driving in the bowl section.
And he comes through kind of a little shampoo section. He's not really interested in the rest of that wave. He wants out. He's going to go back into the lineup and look for something better than that. And back to Alan Munoz, let me tell you, I don't know if you knew this. He had stitches in his elbow this whole event. So he's had this a serious injury from one of the surfs he's had a week, about 10 days ago, I should say, down a little further south at some crazy slab that they've just recently discovered. Huh. And he had a whole bunch of stitches in his elbow, and he had it all wrapped up in a big bandage, and he was unable to go left like in the most characteristic way that he usually has been. So he was a little bit uncomfortable out there, and definitely not in the state that he usually is.
Explain why he couldn't go left, because you have to use your elbow on the board as pressure, and you're pushing down and using it as leverage. So if that's where your wound is, it's going to definitely be sore.
Exactly, especially if it's stitches, something serious like that. And that's why he was looking for those big rights and excelling massively when those rights were coming through, and especially as big as they were, he definitely showed that he has the local knowledge to pick off the best ones, which he did with ease.
Man, that's insane. I didn't know about that. Thanks for that info. It was awesome. As we saw a good peak come through there just a minute ago, and in Hawaii sometimes some of the guys call them teepees. So they're just like a teepee like this coming through a peak in the middle, and
doesn't offer much scoring potential, but it looks really good.
Yeah. At least you know there's plenty of shape out there.
Absolutely. This reef is so so varied. It has so many faces to it. You know, if a slightly west swell comes through, the left becomes a, you know, freight training barrel, and if a very straight southwest one comes, which hits the reef more straight on, the right-hander becomes a long wall with a massive ramp and potential serious barrel time.
For sure.
So it definitely has so many different faces and can offer up so much variety when a variety of swells hit it like it is right now. And I remember Hardy speaking about the first time he came here 10 years ago. He was claiming the rights to be 15 feet and freight training down the point here. And that would have been a sight to see, let me tell you.
Yeah, he said it was so big that you could only go right.
Wow. And I would have loved to have seen that, because to me, this is almost as big as it gets. And yeah, the fact that the guys are surfing it 10 years ago that size is quite something.
So Hardy got a 2.08 on that little wave last time. Not going to matter whatsoever. Still, 12.83 for Ryan Hardy. Ben Player, he only needs a 6.14 to take the lead, which can be done on a pretty small wave without a problem.
On your screen there, you can see our cameraman covering the left, Mr. Kaha from the Canary Islands. He's one of the most dedicated cameramen out there. You know, our whole team here consists of guys from around the world who are specialists in this field. You know, This is not an easy task, let me tell you. This is some serious concentration for hours and hours on end. And they are responsible to get you the action firsthand. And they've been doing an excellent job. And I have to thank them and all the guys involved, especially the webcast team and the logistical team here, for making all of this possible.
Yes, sir.
And here you see Ben Player.
Yeah,
he likes
Ben
the look
Player
of this.
trying to take that lead. He could do it on this wave. It's big enough if it offers a good barrel.
He used that priority. He got a little cover up. He's going to be looking for a little ball here.
Oh, is he going to roll
Let's see what comes. This is typical for El Gringo.
Very
ball
nice.
Right towards the end, close to the rocks. He just ducks out right before the wave closes out on the rocks. And
well, he needed a 6.14, like we said. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it. It's close.
I personally think he's going to get it. It was a set wave. He got a good barrel right off the beginning and rode it all the way through the full duration of the wave towards the end of the reef and rolled out with good control and was clean. I mean, I couldn't have faulted anything on that. He was looking good.
Well, it was a smaller set wave. It wasn't a bomb. Definitely not one of the biggest waves of the day so far.
No, not one of the bigger ones. But
I hate to correct you.
A nice clean barrel, and he does come out clean and gets a good roll ball here.
Not enough. 5.58, like I said.
Wow. Okay.
It wasn't a big enough wave according to the judges, and the wave was ridden very good, but I agree, it wasn't a very big wave.
That angle kind of gave it a little bit more size, but front on you could see it wasn't a big set wave. And he comes out of the barrel clean and does a clean roll here, but the judges didn't think it was enough and of course didn't award him what he needed.
Remember, his first wave of 5.65 was also a good wave, but a smaller wave. Mm-hmm. So they're consistent, a 5.65 and a 5.58 on.
They were very similar. They were very
similar waves.
Yep.
30 seconds ago, can Ben Player pull it together, or is Ryan Hardy going to advance through to the semifinals?
This is serious crunch time here. If Ben Player is able to make it through this heat, he's going to be in a good position for a world title race. And
we have Ryan Hardy now on the right,
and
Ben Player on the left.
This is serious crunch time here for the boys. And I'm following here Ryan Hardy on the right. He's done a roll, and he's back in the pocket trying to roll again. Just stay busy. And the countdown is happening.
Wait till you guys see the replay from this. We saw Ryan Hardy.
On the right, he's still busy. He's still going. He's still getting scored for this wave. And the judges are watching this exchange unfold, and they've both split a peak. So
wait till you guys see the replay. I'm not going to tell you, but just wait till you see the replay for Ben Player. Things could tighten up. Let's just put it that way right now.
Wow. Okay, I didn't see anything, so I don't know. I was just following Hardy on that right. You were lucky enough to get your head out the window and watch the right and the left of Ben Player.
Here he is, Ben Player driving. Check it out.
A big backflip off the left. And lands it clean.
Perfect, right?
And give it a little claim. I think the judges are going to like that. I don't know what he's going to need after Ryan's score on that right.
Ryan just needs to improve on a 5.83 and his score goes up. Here's a replay of that. Is this better than a 5.83?
Nice roll off the takeoff. Didn't get much air, but good control. And goes vertical here just for another little extension. And he's looking for more on the inside. He's keeping busy. He's not going to give up. Little transition spin and going for another roll off the end. Not much power, not much open face.